You just told your daughter she's so smart for the 1,000th time. You meant it as encouragement. You accidentally programmed her for anxiety. Because every parent wants to build confidence, but some compliments quietly break it. In this video, we're decoding the 7 nice things parents say that secretly crush confidence and how to swap them for words that raise calm, resilient kids. Don't panic. If you've said any of these, you're in very good company. Stickos said them all, probably this week. Number 1, you're so smart. It feels like the ultimate compliment. You're building confidence, right? Nope. You're building a house of cards that collapses at the first B+. Stanford found that when we praise intelligence instead of effort, kids get fragile fast. Smart becomes identity. And when identity gets challenged, meltdown. Picture it. Your smart kid meets hard math for the first time. Their brain goes, if I were really smart, this would be easy. I must be dumb. I'm exposed. One tricky question turns into a full existential crisis over fractions. Then they start avoiding challenge. Why risk proving they're not Einstein? So they choose the easy wins, quit when it gets hard, and quietly develop anxiety that screams, please never find out I'm average. Here's the wild part. Kids praised for being smart actually test 20% lower later. The pressure to stay smart blocks real thinking. And your daughter who loves being called smart, she's now terrified of asking for help. Because smart kids don't need no help. Right? Been there, said that, regretted it 5 minutes later. The fix is simple. Praise the process, not the personality. Try this. You worked through that frustration beautifully. I love how you tried 3 different approaches. Your effort's paying off. Effort praise builds kids who chase growth instead of perfection. The irony, those kids actually become smarter because they risk, they fail, they learn, they rise. The smart kids stay safe and stuck. So next time you're tempted to say, you're so smart, swap it for, you worked hard on that. It hits different. It builds different. That was parenting glitch number 1. Officially patched. Subscribe and let's fix the next 6 before bedtime. Number 2. Why can't you be more like your sister? Seems logical, right? You're giving them a role model, except you just told one child they're the defective addition and taught the other that love is conditional on staying better. Harvard found comparison-based parenting creates 2 casualties. The lesser child stops trying, and the better one develops panic-level perfectionism. Every comparison becomes a scoreboard. Sarah's organized, Tom's messy. You think you're motivating Tom, but what he hears is, you're the wrong kind of person. Be someone else. Now Tom's the disappointment. Whatever he achieves, Sarah already did it better. Why try? The race was rigged from birth. And Sarah, she's drowning too. Her entire identity is the good one. One slip up and she loses the only role she's ever had. You wanted motivation. You created a Cold War. Sibling rivalry that lasts decades, and awkward Thanksgiving dinners. Quick pause, be honest. Whose name did your parents use in your comparison sentence? Drop it in the comments. Therapy's cheaper here. The fix? Compare them to their past selves, not each other. Try, you're more organized than last month. You handled that better than last time. Or the magic line, you're exactly who you're supposed to be. That turns competition into connection, and home stops feeling like a leaderboard. Number 3, I'm disappointed in you. You think you're expressing feelings, but it lands as, your worth depends on my approval, and right now, you're failing. Yale research shows that I'm disappointed lights up a child's brain like an abandonment alarm. Their nervous system doesn't hear feedback. It hears, love might be off the table. Disappointment is dangerous because it's vague. Mad? They know what that is. Disappointed? They think they failed at being themselves. It's not about action anymore. It's about existence. And that's how a kid goes from, I did something wrong, to, I am something wrong. Those kids grow up apologizing for existing, scanning every face for signs they let someone down. It's exhausting, I should know. Some of us are still doing it in work emails. They become perfectionist people pleasers. Every apology is armor. Every achievement is damage control. But you can't please someone out of being disappointed in who you are. Here's the fix, and it's beautifully simple. Separate the person from the behavior. Say, I didn't like what happened, but I love who you are. Or, that choice disappointed me, instead of, you disappoint me. One gives feedback. The other gives rejection. Quick empathy break. If you've ever said this line, congratulations, you're human. You just learned a better way to say the same truth with less collateral damage. Number 4, stop being so sensitive. Your kid's crying over something tiny. You want to toughen them up. But what you're really teaching is, your feelings are wrong. Columbia studies found kids told they're too sensitive don't get thicker skin. They just get better at hiding pain. They grow anxious, ashamed, and convinced their emotions are factory defects. Some kids' nervous systems are wired like high-resolution cameras. They notice everything. Telling them to stop being sensitive is like telling them to change eye color. So they learn to mask instead of manage. They still feel deeply, just underground. By 10, they're emotional double agents. By 20, they can't tell if they're calm or just numb. Quick honesty break. If you've ever said, you're overreacting, welcome to the club. I've said it, regretted it, and Googled emotional damage repair for beginners. Watch how this plays out later. They stay in bad friendships because leaving would be too dramatic. They doubt their gut feelings, then call it being chill. Their inner compass keeps pointing to, maybe I'm overreacting. The fix, validate the feeling before you teach regulation. Try, you feel things deeply. That's powerful. That really hurt you. Let's breathe it out. Sensitivity and weakness. It's the early warning system for empathy. Raise them to trust it, not bury it. Number 5, you're not living up to your potential. Sounds motivating, right? What it really means is you're failing at being who I imagined you'd be. MIT research shows that potential talk doesn't inspire, it paralyzes. Kids don't hear possibility. They hear, you'll never be enough. Potential is an invisible finish line that keeps moving. B's could be A's. A's could be A pluses. Got into college, should have been a better college. Every win becomes proof they still fell short. Eventually, they stop daring altogether because every success only moves the goalpost. They burn out trying to impress an imaginary audience that's never satisfied. But if potential is so motivating, why do so many high achievers end up burned out and miserable? You'll see in a second. Quick confession break. My parents said this once, and I spent the next decade chasing a potential no one could define, not even them. So if you've said it, same team. The real world result? Kids stop risking. Why try if success only raises the bar? They either overachieve to exhaustion or give up entirely. Adults raised on potential still feel behind on a race that doesn't exist. Promotion? Should have been sooner. Compliment? They're just being nice. Permanent underdog of their own expectations. The fix? Celebrate the present, not the phantom future. Say, I'm proud of who you are right now, or you're exactly where you need to be. Because when kids feel accepted in the middle of becoming, they grow faster than any potential ever promised. Number 6, big boys and girls don't cry. You say it to make them strong. What they hear is, grown-ups don't feel. Berkeley research shows that kids who learn crying is immature don't become tougher, they just become better at pretending. Their feelings don't disappear, they go underground and start leaking out as anxiety, anger, or those mysterious stomach aches that show up every Monday. When they stop crying, they don't stop hurting. They just lose the exit route for pain. By 8, they've mastered their poker face. By 12, they can't cry if they even try. By adulthood, they're emotionally constipated, and no amount of self-care smoothies fixes that. Quick humor break. I once told my kid, big boys don't cry, then cried later when I realized he believed me. Parenting 1, logic 0. Here's the fallout. Men who punch walls because they can't cry. Women who smile through breakdowns. Adults starving at life's emotional buffet because someone taught them appetite was childish. The fix? Normalize tears as human, not babyish. Say, even big kids cry when things hurt. Or, crying helps our feelings move through us. Strength isn't silence. It's letting emotion flow and still standing when it's done. Number 7, that's not good enough. Your kid shows you a drawing, a grade, a goal. You think you're pushing for excellence. They hear, nothing I do will ever be enough. Northwestern research found that kids raised on not good enough praise grow up with an inner critic that never shuts up. Every success comes with an asterisk, but it could have been better. 95% should have been 100. Win the game, should have scored more. No matter how high they climb, the bar keeps moving, like a treadmill with no off switch. So they learn to chase, not celebrate. Achievement becomes survival. Rest feels like failure. Quick honesty break. I once told my kid, good job, but, and watched the joy drain out of his face. That but cost me a whole afternoon of guilt and one emergency ice cream apology. Parenting math. +1 lesson, -5 sanity. Here's what that line really does. It builds adults who can't rest, who finish something amazing and instantly say, it's not that special. Success feels like failure because enough was never defined. The fix? Shift from evaluation to curiosity. Say, tell me about making this. Or, you worked so hard on that? Focus on how they built it, not how it ranks. Excellence doesn't grow from pressure. It grows from pride. And kids who feel proud of their work today keep improving tomorrow. The truth about confidence. These phrases don't build strength, they build fear. Each one quietly teaches your child that something about them is wrong, too much, or never enough. Real confidence isn't built on praise, it's built on safety, on knowing that even when they mess up, cry, or fall apart, love doesn't leave the room. Your kids don't need evaluation or comparison. They need recognition for who they already are. So next time you hear yourself about to say one of these 7 lines, pause, take a breath, trade judgment for curiosity. You're not lowering the bar. You're raising a human. And if you've said any of these before, welcome to the club. We're all just trying to reprogram our own childhoods while raising the next generation not to need therapy as badly as we did. Choose your words like you're writing a code for your child's inner voice, because you are.